Hi, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, and it is my Facebook Live is today. If you're here, leave a comment so that I know that you're here and we can get started once a few people pop in. My name is Alicia Markfort. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. And today we are going to use the Delicate Pines bundle. It is part of the Elegant Pine Snowflake Suite, and it is just beautiful. So, I am a hair early, so I'm going to wait just a little bit more to see if a few people are going to pop in here and say hi. It's a beautiful day. It's nice, sunshiny, a little bit cold, but for this time of year, it's expected. Um, so, yeah, I'm going to give it just a little bit more to see if a few more people are going to pop in. If not, I am going to get started here shortly. If you're watching the replay, hello. Um, Hi, Lori. How are you? Thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. So, as I was saying, my name is Alicia Markfort. I'm a U.S. Independent demonstrator in the United States. I live in St. Paul, Minnesota. I've been a demonstrator, I want to say since 2021. I've been crafting forever and paper crafting just as long. So I'm going to switch my camera over so that you can see my tabletop and then we can get started. Okay, here we go. How's that? Good. All right. So today we are going to be using the Delicate Pines bundle. It is part of the Elegant. It's a lot to say. Kind of a tongue twister. Not really, but Elegant Pine Snowflakes Suite. It is a very beautiful. It's very unique. Unique in that, yes, all snowflakes are unique, but unique in that the design of these snowflakes are pine bough, hence the title Delicate Pines. So we're going to be using that. This is the stamp set. We're using some of the stamps, not all of them, but a good majority of them. It is a photopolymer stamp set, which is nice because then when you're stamping, you can see what you are doing. You can see through it. And here's the dies. I put my dies on a magnet sheet. Hi, Debbie. How are you? I put my dies on a magnet sheet. So they're kind of all scrunched in here because this was on a bigger uh, set. It was like the big square. And I just wanted to get them on my magnet sheet. So there are a lot of dies with this set, which is awesome. You got snowflakes. They have the dies that cut out the stamped images, in addition to the dies that you can cut out just the image without stamping it. Okay, so these are the cards that we are going to be making today. Okay, we have this one is going to be the first card, and then we have this one. I love this one. I turned the snowflake into a poinsettia, and then we have this one, and last but not least, we have this one. It looks like I call it the wrapped card, the gift wrapped card. It's so pretty. Okay, so let's start with this first card. I'm going to just kind of put this to the side so we can see what we're doing. And everything, so I should say, if you make a purchase in my online store, starting, well, you could have started yesterday through the 26th, you will and you spend at least $50, you will receive this card class to go. So everything that I make today, you will receive, and they will come like this in an envelope. And as I pull out while I'm making the card, I will show you everything that you would get in the kit. If you spend $75, you would receive this card class to go, and a pack of embellishments. And because Stampin' Up has free shipping going on for 3 days, today is the second day, and that is a minimum of $75. So you would get free shipping from Stampin' Up when you place the order in my online store. In addition, then you'd also receive the class to go, which is 4 cards, 1 design each. I'm going to try, I think I might have chosen the wrong camera. I meant to do, so just give me one, bear with me here. I'm going to get the other camera so we get a split view. Let's see here. There. Let's do this one. I thought that's what I chose, but I guess I did it. Okay, so let's get started. So in the first card, everything they'll come in an envelope. Just want to make sure that, I think there might be a little stray little guy in here. Have that out. Okay, so you'll have a thick basic white cardstock that will be scored. You will have a basic white mat, and it will be embossed with the Jolly Holly hybrid embossing folder. It's so pretty. I love the holly leaves and then all the little dots. I love that. You'll receive a piece of silver foil, a piece of shaded spruce, and a piece of the Elegant Pine Snowflakes DSP. And then you'll also receive a piece of DSP. Yours will be whole. And this is what you're going to die cut your snowflake from. And you'll also receive a piece of shaded spruce and basic white for the sentiment. Oh, and a silver foil. This one I will cut for you. This is from the Stylish Shape Dies. It's the largest circle from that die set. So anything that is not in the Delicate Pine bundle, and if I will cut out for you. If it's something that is like this, you will die cut out because it comes in the bundle. And this is right from the DSP, and you will receive the DSP to cut that out. And there's one big snowflake and one little itty bitty baby. Okay, so why don't we get started, and we're going to start by folding and burnishing our card base. And I am going to first adhere the embossed panel. So how's everybody today? I'm good. I just been kind of keeping myself busy getting ready for my Saturday in-person kit class that I'm hosting at my house. So I've been getting ready for that. Okay, so now we have that adhered. I just use seal to adhere that. And then I have 3 pieces that are going to be cut for you. And these are going to be my mats that go on top of my card front. Oh, Lori, lunch with your son at Culver's. Very nice. Ooh, that sounds really good. I love Culver's. Yeah, that's very nice. And then we're going to take this piece of shaded spruce, and I'm going to put some seal on here because we're going to adhere this to the silver foil mat. Okay, sorry for the glare, it's kind of glary. And now this, you want to leave a little bit on each side. I think it's like 1/8 of an inch, but go all the way to the bottom because these are the same size length. And we're going to just try to keep it straight. Okay, and then you're going to take your piece of the snowflake DSP. You could do either side, but it's the same as your snowflake, so I chose to use the just the plain, the shaded spruce backing with the white snowflakes is so pretty. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did with the shaded spruce. And we're going to line that up at the bottom because it's the same length as the other two. And just like that. Then we're going to turn this over and we're going to add seal to the back. And we are going to put this on our card front. We're going to leave about, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 of an inch from the left. And line that up just like that. And adhere that down. And then next what you want to do is you want to take your die cut circle. This is about a 3x3 circle. And I am going to adhere this to my card front with dimensionals. And we're just going to use a couple. Just 3. I love the colors too. I have a hard time with green. Not that I don't like green, but like putting it with other colors. And I mean, I love green, but these are so pretty with the soft, with the dark, and then the pretty peacock. It's very pretty. I agree, Lori. Okay, so we put our silver foil circle, and then we're going to take our die cut snowflake, which I love. And we're going to add this with dimensionals. And I just love, that's one of the things about Stampin' Up! In their designer series paper, which we call for short DSP. Um, when you can die cut right out of with the bundle, you can just die cut. I just love that. Die cut the images. It's like one of my favorite things. Okay, and we're just going to center that in the middle of our circle. And then I'm going to take that itty bitty baby snowflake, which I also die cut out of the DSP. And we're going to pop him up. And we're going to center him right in the middle of the snowflake. Okay, so now we are going to stamp our sentiment, which I absolutely love. It's the most magical time of the year. And I just love the word magical with snowflakes. That's just so cool. And we are using shaded spruce. And I'm going to just take my strip of DSP and I am going to go right in the middle of this piece of basic white that you'll have in your kit because I am going to banner the edges. I'm going to grab my snips and to cut a banner I'm just going to, well, I'm going to take just a little bit off of this because it's a little bit longer than I'd like. So if your strip is a little bit longer, just go ahead and give it a trim. And then I'm just going to kind of eyeball the middle. And then I'm going to bring my scissor over to the left corner up to where I put that little first slice. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing this way. Kind of get that same. So here's your first side of your banner. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to trim a little bit off because I don't want my banner to be quite that long. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm just going to snip up a little bit. And then I'm going to go from the left corner up to where I made that first cut. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to do the same thing. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the piece of shaded spruce. I'm going to close this before I get my arm in shaded spruce ink. I'm going to take my sentiment label. I'm going to add some seal. And I'm going to take the piece of shaded spruce cardstock. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put this in the middle, just like so. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut the banner in the same as I did with the white. So I'm going to take a little bit off of each end. And I'm going to do the same thing. It will make a shadow mat to our sentiment. And then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to cut from the left up to where you made that first cut. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to make a little, this is not by any means perfect. It's done by hand. But by doing it this way and flipping it over so you're making that same cut on both sides. And there you'll have your sentiment that has the little bit of the green border all the way around. It just kind of makes it stand out from the basic white card front. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put dimensionals on the backs of my sentiment label, just like so. And I'm going to peel these backings off and we are going to place that towards the bottom of our card. Okay, so there's that. So all we have left to do is to add these beautiful faceted snowflakes. I love these. They're so pretty. And we are going to put some red ones on here because there are little cherry cobbler colored berries in this snowflake. So I am going to, there is 2 sizes, and I am going to put one here. And let's take a little one. We're going to put that right here. And I'm going to take another little, and I'm going to make my triangle, and I'm going to just go do right there. So there you have it. There's card number 1. What do you guys think? I like this one. I think it's so pretty. I love silver with snowflakes. Yeah, very pretty. I like it. I hope you guys like it too. So there's card number 1. Card number 2 is, and I like all of the cards, but I'm kind of, oh, thanks, Debbie. I'm kind of partial to this one. And for those that know me know that I love red. So anything time there's red, it just draws me in. And when I was designing these cards, when I saw the dies, I went to flower instead of snowflake. And that just looks to me like a poinsettia. So we are going to not have a snowflake card on our second card. We are going to have a poinsettia and pine cone and pine branch card. Thanks, Lori. Okay, so here's card number 2. This is everything that you'll get in your pack, except for obviously these things right here you will die cut. So you will have an old olive card base. You will have a panel full of DSP for your card front. You will have a piece of basic white for the inside of your card. And now obviously you will not, your pieces will be whole. You'll have a piece of old olive for die cutting, shaded spruce, pecan pie, early espresso, and cherry cobbler. And then I will die cut for you out of the DSP. This is from the branching out dies. I will This will be in your kit die cut out for you. This will be our background to our focal point. And then you will have a strip of pecan pie for the sentiment. And you will have a piece of this gold trimmed mesh ribbon. We're going to use that for our card today. And then I've already, to save time, I die cut ahead the pieces that we're going to use today for our focal point. All right. So are you guys more traditional? Oh, hey, hi, Mom. How are you? Look at you chatting. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Artis is my mom. I'm so happy she's here. Okay, so I have taken my old olive card base and I am going to start by folding and burnishing my card base. Just like that. And let's do it one more time so we get a nice... Huh. Lori says hello to Mom. Hi, Artie. Love it. I love it. Okay, so we are going to start off with our card front and we are going to add some seal to the back of the piece of DSP that will come in your kit. And this is so pretty. At first I thought this was black, but it's not. It's actually Secret Sea. It's a real deep, beautiful, dark, like navy blue. Yeah, it's so pretty. And we are going to add this to the front of our card base, just like so. And then I'm going to take this piece of DSP that is cut out with the branching out dies, and we are going to add dimensionals to that. And just like crafting me, I lose my dimensionals all the time. Doesn't matter where I'm at, I lose them. Okay, so we're going to add some dimensionals onto this. Let's see, I kind of got them kind of wonky on there. Okay, we're going to peel these off. I be fine. Are you be fine, Mom? Okay. And we are going to put this in the center of our card. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take all these beautiful die cuts and we are going to start layering them on our background, our die cut background. And I have 2 shaded spruce leaves. And the first thing I like to do is I like just to kind of lay things out. It's kind of like making on an arrangement or a floral arrangement. I mean, obviously with a floral arrangement, you're going to, be putting them in a vase. But this die right here, it comes like this when you cut it. And you could cut 2 and it makes the snowflake pieces. But I'm going to cut this in half and I'm going to use them just as pine bough branches. And we're going to put one about here and one about right here. And then I'm going to take my liquid glue, and when you cut your pine cone, you're going to cut 2 pieces. There's going to be the shadow piece, which you'll cut in your early espresso, and then there'll be the cutout piece with all the little holes in it that you'll cut out a pecan pie. And I'm going to flip this over and use my liquid glue. You could definitely use an adhesive sheet for this. And I should have, but I thought I'll just use some glue and get sticky fingers. Okay, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this on my pine cone, line it up. And what's nice with liquid glue though is that you have some wiggle room in there to move it around. Okay, so we have our pine cone. I'm going to just kind of set him right there. And then I'm going to take, okay, so these were the 2 snowflakes that I cut in cherry cobbler. And then I'm going to use that as my poinsettia instead of snowflakes. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to layer them on top of each other, but I'm just going to turn it so it looks like a full flower. And I am going to add a mini dimensional into the center of the bottom flower, and then I'm just going to go like so. And then this is going to go in the middle. So now I have an idea of what I want my card to look, how I kind of want it arranged. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave the two leaves there and the pine cone here. Because if I leave the pine cone here, then I kind of know where the other pieces are going to lay. Maybe, maybe not. And it's up to you. You can put glue on your entire back, but I usually only go towards the bottom because I like a little bit more of a texture. You can have the leaf kind of, you could curl it up or stick it up or bend it up to give it that more natural look instead of just, more 3D look to it. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other piece. And I am going to put it right like so. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing with the old olive pine boughs, branches. I don't know what they are. Pine branches. I'm going to put this right here. And I'm going to take the other one. And the same thing as the leaves. I didn't put, and feel free if you want to have it, stuck all the way down, by all means, just put your glue across the whole thing. I'm just putting it towards the bottom and up the middle. And then I kind of want this one to go like this. Okay. And then I am going to add my ribbon, and we are using this beautiful mesh ribbon, and we're going to do a faux bow. And I want my faux bow to be underneath my sentiment label. So before I add on my pine cone and my uh, poinsettia, I'm going to add my ribbon. So I'm going to just take some seal, and we're just going to add a little bit right through here. I'm going to add my ribbon. I'm just going to make a couple swoops to make my faux bow. Just like that. And I'm going to trim it off. And I'm going to cut it at an angle on both sides. Just like that. She gets that from me, Lori. Okay, Mom. My mom loves poinsettias. My mom at Christmas always has fresh poinsettias throughout the house. So pretty. She buys the little, like, mini plants. Oh, I love it. And she usually has them in the living room and in the kitchen and in the dining room. It's so pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put a dimensional onto the back of my poinsettia. I'm going to use a full-size dimensional on this because you're not going to be able to see because of, you have two layers now. And I don't want this completely over my bow because I'm going to put my sentiment um, label there. So I'm just going to kind of peek it up like that. And then I'm also going to add a dimensional to the back of my pine cone, and I'm going to put that towards the top of the pine cone so that we can slip this, tuck it under our poinsettia, just like that. Okay, isn't that, I just love that. Okay, so I know I showed you guys I had a piece of pecan pie cardstock. I thought I did, a little strip. I know I did. I remember showing it. Do you guys see it anywhere? All right, well, I'm going to rob another kit that I have here. Sorry about that. I don't want to spend the whole time looking for it, so I'm just going to grab this out of the other one I already have here. Okay, so you have your piece of pecan pie, and we are going to stamp it in early espresso ink, and we are going to stamp the sentiment, celebrate the season. And we are going to ink up with early espresso, and this will, I chose early espresso because of the early espresso in the pine cone. And we are going to stamp that right in the center of our pecan pie label. Okay, I'm going to put this away so I don't get ink on everything. And we're going to flip this over. Okay, so this is going to go right here just like this. Kind of tucked underneath the poinsettia, but not to cover up the sentiment, but just a little bit underneath there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to add dimensionals here and here just by on the background, um, your background die cut. Craft room naughty gnome, yes. There is definitely something that lives in here and it steals my dimensionals, it steals my scissors, and it steals my little pieces all the time. All right, so we have our dimensionals on the back of our sentiment label, and we're just going to tuck that under there just like so. There is that. And now I am not going to use the faceted snowflakes for this. I'm going to use some gold. I just really thought that this needed a little bit of gold in it because of the middle of the poinsettia. So I'm using these very pretty, these are from the annual catalog. They're called Flower Accents. And let's see, and that little nasty gnome took, oh, here it is, my pick tool. Okay, and I'm going to put this, again, has two sizes. So I'm going to take a big with my pick tool, and I am going to put one in the center to mimic the center of a poinsettia. I know it's not exact, but you get my drift. And then I'm going to take another big, and now because here I'm going to make my triangle from the center of my flower, and I'm going to put a big here, and I'm going to put a little right here. And there you have it. That is card number 2. What do you think? Yeah, I like this one. I think this one's really pretty. I wasn't sure with the darker DSP, but I just really think it is really pretty. It really came out. It's sharp. All right, so there we have card 2. Let's move on to card number 3. And card number 3 is this pretty one right here. I know it's, thanks, Debbie. I know I shouldn't say it, but I always go, oh, I love it. It's so pretty. But, you know, I love Stampin' Up stuff. And when I put it together, I get so excited because it's so pretty. Not just because I made it. Thanks, Mom. Okay, so here's everything that we're going to need for card number 3. And I did die cut ahead of time to save time. So in your kit, you will have a Secret C card base. You are going to have a 5 1/4 by 4 basic white for your front of your card for the mat. You're going to have one for the inside, and you will have a piece to stamp and die cut your snowflake. You will have a piece of the Elegant Edge Snowflakes DSP, a piece of silver foil, and again, your piece will be whole. You'll have silver foil, and then from the Peaceful Garden suite, I chose to use the glimmer paper It's so pretty. And this is Secret Sea, and this looks silver, but it's actually cloud cover. Thanks, Lori. And this is what we're going to die cut our branches from. And this it I don't know if you can see in the camera, but this DSP, the pine bows in the DSP is Secret Sea. And then I did die cut the snowflake, and I will stamp. This will be stamped in Lost Lagoon. And then you'll also receive a piece of the baker's twine. It's black and gold and white and gold baker's twine. It actually is with the modern Christmas suite. It's very pretty baker's twine. So here I'm going to take out my pieces. Kind of move this here and give me some space. Let's see if this little whatever fairy in my craft room takes my stuff again. So we're going to start. We're going to fold and burnish our Secret Sea card base. And I'm going to take one of our mats, a basic white mat with a panel of our DSP, and that we're going to use the Lost Lagoon Pretty Peacock side. And we're going to add some seal to that. So what is everybody up to today? Anything fun or just taking it easy? The weekend's almost here. Yahoo! Okay, so I took the DSP, I adhered it to the top of my white mat. I'm going to flip it over, and we are going to adhere this to our card front. Well, our card base. This is our card front. Ooh, I see I didn't get that very straight on there. All right, so I'll put that on there. And then what I think we're going to do is we are going to stamp. You know, I think I didn't put the little strips of paper in my kits for myself. Okay, so we are going to stamp the sentiment in Pretty Peacock, and we're using that sentiment again. There's only 3 sentiments in this set, so we are repeating It's the Most Magical Time of Year. And we are going to stamp that in Pretty Peacock. And let's see. I'm finishing an old card class I will show you later. Mom's crocheting. And Debbie, I'm finishing doing what I did yesterday. Nothing. Awesome. Okay. Mom's crocheting. Lori's making cards. I love it. Okay. So we are going to take It's the Most Magical Time of the Year, and we are going to put it on a piece of basic white. This is a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go all the way to the edge on this one because we're just going to make a straight cut. I'm going to close up the Pretty Peacock. And I am going to take my snips and I'm going to attempt to cut this straight. Hey, not too bad. Okay, and I'm going to take my snowflake. Normally, what you would do is you would stamp your snowflake on the basic white paper and then die cut it. But I die cut it first today for time's sake, and I will attempt to stamp this on my die cut and get that on there. And we're going to do Lost Lagoon, and you know that it should be relatively easier to do this because it's a photopolymer stamp set. Had this been a cling, a red rubber cling step, I wouldn't even attempt. I can't do things straight with a ruler, let alone not being able to see through something. Okay, so we are going to line this up. I'm going to bring this a little further down so that I can see what I'm doing. And we are going to go just like that. See what we get. All right. Hey, not too bad. It's a little off there, but not too bad at all. Okay, so I did this in Lost Lagoon and it looks dark right now, but as this sits, it will lighten up. So let's put that away. So we have our stamping out of the way. So then the next thing that you would do is you would, die cut out your pine branches. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with that last card. And I'm just going to cut this one. I'm just going to snip it right in half. Right there's a little circle in the center. I'm just going to snip it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I do the same thing with all when I'm doing an arrangement on the front of a card, whether it be a flower with leaves or anything. I always like to lay it down first. And I'm going to take my branches. I'm going to take my pine flake. I was wondering if I was going to say that. My snowflake. And I'm going to just kind of go like this because I want my snowflake to not exactly butt up to the DSP, but kind of so I know that now I have my glimmer paper pine branches where, they need to be. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to take my silver foil leaves and I kind of want that peeking out like so. But I want the snowflake to cover it up, but I want a few of those leaves to show like that. So yeah, I think that's good. I think I'm satisfied with that, and we will set that down. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. I just like to put my liquid glue at the bottom. I'm just gonna eyeball that. Okay, remove the silver foil leaf out of the way. And I want this one to kind of go. See, they're kind of like kitty wampus. I'm going to take my silver foil leaves. These are so pretty with the silver foil. I'm going to kind of go like this so I can have my... Okay, and I'm going to take my snowflake, and I don't know if you can tell, but it has lightened up quite a bit since it's been sitting. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of my snowflake. Just going to do 3. Okay, I'm going to take my snowflake, and I'm like I said, I want to go to the right here and here. I still want to be able to see my silver foil leaves. I'll make sure they're not sticky stuck so that I can kind of move it around a little bit where I want it. There. And you can still see the leaves, your leaves. Okay. We have that. And then you have your other snowflake that you cut in silver foil. I should mention if you have this set and you have these dies, I'm going to show this because I did this mistake the first time when I was cutting. So this die right here, this is to cut out your stamped snowflake. This one here is the one that I have been using to cut what I've been calling the flower. This will cut this and like the cherry cobbler. These over here, you have a kind of a bigger and a littler. These cut the individual little sections. So you could take and add just the little piece onto your snowflake. So this does not come out with everything attached. This will cut out 6 little individual, what I'm calling petals. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to use liquid glue and I'm going to put it right in the center of my snowflake. And I'm going to line it up on my snowflake just like this. Okay. Then I'm going to take these, cut these two. There's actually 3 of these in the die set, which is nice. But I cut 2 of them and I want to lay them across like this to make an X. And I'm going to use liquid glue just in the little center. I just love how this glimmer paper looks with the silver foil. Yes, yes, it would be very pretty with gold. Very pretty. I'm normally a gold girl over silver, but this with snowflakes and stuff looks so pretty. Our next card is going to have some more gold in it. Okay, so we have that. And then what I'm going to do is I want to take my baker's twine. It's so pretty. And this does have gold in it, but it really looks pretty with the silver. I wasn't going to use it and I thought, just try it. So I tried it. I thought, oh, I like that. I would have never thought to put silver and gold together, but really does pretty. So I kind of want bigger loops and I'm actually tying it so I can kind of see what I get here. And I'm just going to lay it like this. But I'm going to use a glue dot because I don't trust myself running seal across that glimmer paper because it's such a delicate die cut. So I'm going to take that. I'm just going to go like this. Now you could buy, for sure, you could do like a normal faux bow where you just layer it. This one I want it to be able to play with and pull on the ends. So that's nice to have the knot. And we're going to take our sentiment, and our sentiment is going to go right over the top, like so. And now I am going to double stack some dimensionals, and I'm going to grab some minis, and I'm going to put them, they will go here and here. But I'm going to double stack them because we already have the height from the snowflake being dimensional. I think I just made up a word. And then that way they're the same height and it's not going to look all bulky and bumpy. We don't want any bulky and bumpy. Did you use those dies that cut individually? Not in these cards, Lori, I didn't. But I have cut them out and I've used them. They're very pretty. And well, I wonder if I still have. Oh, yeah. Here's one of them. Let's see if I can get. This is one of them cut in cherry cobbler because, like I said, I cut the wrong one the first time. All right, so I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to put it to the edge of my DSP, but I want to make sure, well, where I have this, it goes close to the edge of the card base so that my dimensionals fit, just like that. So now we have an even sentiment, and I'm going to trim off my end of my baker's twine, like that. And then we are going to go back and use the silver or the faceted snowflakes, and I'm going to use the silver ones. And we are going to use a big up here, kind of tucked in between the two things on the snowflake. And then I'm going to use another big, and I'm going to put this one because we're going to make our triangle right there. And I'm going to take a little and we're going to go right next to it like that. And there we have card number 3. What do you guys think? You like this one? I like it. It's pretty. It's not my typical colors for Christmas. I'm a very traditional red, green, gold, silver. So for me, but I just thought, oh, that's pretty. And these really would make beautiful winter cards. You know, wouldn't have to use them as Christmas cards. Okay, here's last but not least. This is my gift wrapped card. Let's see, let's get the card out so we can see the card. Okay. Here it is. This is our last card. Oh, thanks, Lori. Okay, and that's going to go right here so we can see it. And I think I have everything out of my envelope. Okay, so in your card kit, you will receive a Secret C card base, winter birthdays. Yeah, that would be a good one, winter birthday. And then we are going to get a piece of gold foil for your mat. You will receive a piece of elegant pine elegant pine snowflakes DSP. This is another pattern similar to the one we used in card 2. And this one has more of the snowflake in it. And then you will receive in your kit, this is die cut from the Stylish Shape dies. This will be for your sentiment, and you'll have that in your kit. You will also receive a piece of crumb cake for stamping and die cutting, mossy meadow for die cutting, old olive for stamping and die cutting, and I have an extra piece of crumb cake. I think this probably should go in another one. And then you will also receive this beautiful shaded spruce gold trimmed ribbon. You will receive 3 pieces of it because you're going to need a piece for your knotted bowl and then 2 for your across vertically and horizontally on your card. Okay, and then as all the other cards, I die cut out ahead of time. And we are going to start with stamping on this one. These are the 3 little pine cones. Now, you could die cut the pine cones from the DSP, but they will have white in it. So I thought it would be nice to use the stamped pine cone and die cut it. And and then these are the leaves, the pine stamped ones, instead of just die cutting them. And then we have this. So we are going on the crumb cake. We are going to stamp the pine cone in pecan pie. Okay. And like I said, I die cut ahead. Normally you would stamp this first and then die cut it. So we're going to see if we can get these on here. And hey, success. Like I said, I would not be doing these with a clean rubber stamp, but you can see through the photopolymer. So, and it's a pretty basic stamp. It's nothing real. I'll have those, and then I'm going to stamp the pine in mossy meadow onto old olive. Take your mossy meadow ink, and let's see, I've got my pine branch, and we're going to stamp that right onto our die cut. Okay. All right. So has anybody taken advantage of the free shipping yet? I know I did. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. I like to stock up on paper and stuff when it's free shipping. So I did that, just like the basic stuff. I got essentials. Okay, so we have our stamped images, and then we're going to take our sentiment label that you will have in your kit that will be die cut out for you from the Stylish Shape Dies, and we are going to stamp the sentiment warmest winter wishes in cherry poplar. Debbie did, yep. Very cool, Debbie. Okay, warmest winter wishes. It's kind of hard to pass up on free shipping. And I mean, okay, we know $75 is not hard to get up to. All right, so warmest winter wishes, and we're going to put that right in the center of our sentiment label. I'm going to close this up because I will get red everywhere. So I'm going to put this stuff aside so we have that all ready to go. And I'm going to take my Secret C card base and we're going to fold and burnish our card base. Oops. And then we are going to take our piece of DSP and I'm going to use seal and we're going to adhere that to the gold foil mat. And if you want, when you receive, I know in the card here, I mean, obviously you can't see because it's all covered up, but I did make a die cut out of the center of this for something else. It's all covered up. Nobody will ever know the difference. So if you have something in mind and you want to use up this gold foil, just, cut out of the center, but make sure and leave that edge, your border, your 1/4 inch around. Okay, so we're going to take this and we are going to put this on our gold foil sheet. And then we will turn this over and Lori, you did too. All right. Awesome. Okay, and then we are going to adhere this to our card front. Let's see, which way do I want this to go? I don't think it matters. It's non-directional, so we're going to put that on our card base. Oh, no, 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 we're not doing that yet. We're not doing that yet. I did not stick it down yet. Okay, so I'm going to grab my silicone mat because I already have my adhesive on there. I'm glad I caught myself. So what does it do as I say, not as I do? Do not adhere to your card base until you put your ribbon on. Because I like to put my ribbon around the mat, not around the whole card base. Okay, we're just going to go right in the middle for this, for your center. I'm going to take it and I'm going to wrap it around. And because we already have seal on the back, just plop it down. I'm going to trim a little bit of the extra off. So in your kit, you will have more than enough ribbon. So if you want, just trim your edges. You don't have to. You can just leave it on there. And then we are going to take the other longer piece and we are going to do the same thing except for we are going to go to the left. Like this. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap it around. I just want to make sure I'm in the spot. So I think that's about 1 inch. And I'm going to wrap that. And then I'm going to pull this taut. And then I'm going to trim it off. Like I said, I'd already put seal on the back. So I'm just using that to adhere my ribbon. So here you have your bows, your ribbons. They're not bows yet, but Okay, so because I had already, I had but I'm going to add some more adhesive to go over the tops of the ribbon so that it, sticks. I don't want my card front to come off of my card base. Add a little extra there. I'm just going to make sure it's straight-ish. Get rid of my silicone mat. Okay. Put it on my card just like so. All right. I need to take a sip of coffee here. You guys drink coffee in the afternoon, or do you drink coffee at all? I never used to drink coffee in the afternoon. I only ever used to drink it in the morning, but I don't know. Paul's rubbing off on me. I drink coffee until about 3 o'clock, I think. Well, it is almost. Is it 3? Oh, geez, I better get moving here. Too much yakking. Okay, so we're going to take our. I'm going to tuck these underneath your ribbon of your package card, your gift card. Well, it's not really a gift card, but Christmas present card. And I'm going to tuck these underneath, just like this. And again, I am going to cut this apart. And I'm gonna lay these out. So I kind of have an idea. Okay. So it's up to you how you want to do this part. You can Diet Coke. Yes, I will switch to Diet Coke. Lori later. 1 cup in the morning. Yeah, I should maybe try to go back to that, but I don't know. Okay, so you can either just tie this in a knot right now and glue it down, or you can run it underneath to like this. So you have, looks like a, there, like that. And then you could tie it like that. So you get that kind of packagey tied ribbon look. And I am not tying a bow for this. I am just going to make a knot. Just like that. And now I'm not going to tie it too tight because I still want to see that knot. And now it's up to you. You can cut it a slant at a diagonal, or you could dovetail. And now if you wanted to dovetail your ribbon, you just take your piece of ribbon, you fold it in half, and you take your scissors and you just make a little cut like this. And there you have your dovetail. And then you do the same thing on the other side. So you take it and you fold it in half. And then when I'm cutting, you want to cut down to get your dovetail. And then you just cut like that. There. And you have your little dovetail. Just like cutting a banner out of paper, except for you don't fold the paper in half. But it's that same type of look. Banner end. Okay. And then you can make them shorter if you'd like. Okay, so we have our mossy meadow pine, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some at the bottom, liquid glue, and I am just going to kind of tuck that underneath my ribbon. That. It's kind of like, I don't know, you see those packages and they're wrapped so pretty, and people do such a beautiful job, and they take, and instead of a bow, they put the little Christmas picks and greens and stuff. So pretty. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to tuck this under. If I can get that under. I'm going to cut some more of this off of here so that I can get it where I want it. Trimmed a little bit more of that off. add some more glue. I cut most of it off. Okay, and then I'm going to just tuck this one under the knot because I want some of that to be, just like this over the ribbon. So instead of having it go this way down the card, I'm having it go this way onto the ribbon. Then I'm going to take my 3 pine cones and I am going to put mini dimensionals on them. Okay. And again, I'm going to go towards the tops of the pine cones. So I have tucking capabilities. Okay. So we want to put one right here. And I want one here. Except for I think I want them kind of on the bowl. Like that. And then the other one over here. Except for I don't like how this one is. I gotta move this one. Be really careful. You're doing what I'm doing. So you don't rip the pine branch. I'm gonna kind of get him more underneath this knot. Just play with it. See which way you like it to go. Okay. There, I like them like that. This one kind of looks weird. Let's move that one. There. No, no, no. Sorry, you guys. I gotta move it. I'm fussy. I want him more in line, the triangle with the other pine cone. See how it makes a little bit of a triangle? Then you're going to take your sentiment, and I am going to add some dimensionals to my sentiment. And I'm using minis just because my bigger ones I'm out and I just don't feel like cutting them apart. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tuck that right under our pine cone and our branches. You're going to just take that little bit of that banner end and tuck it underneath there. And I think I am going to add another dimensional under that so that it sticks to the ribbon. And I'm just going to take a dimensional and put it on the end of my pick tool. Maybe put it on the end of my pick tool. I'm just going to put them right under there. And there you have it. Whoops. Okay, there. And now we are going to add the cherry cobbler faceted snowflakes. And we are going to use a big right here, another big right here, and we're going to use a little right here, right by our pine cone and on our pine branch. All right, this is there, sticky stuck. All right, so there you have it. There's card number 4. What do you guys think? It's so pretty. I love it. Okay, so these are the 4 cards that we made today. I'm just going to set these here so you can see what we all did, and these will be in your kits. You will have one of each design. That one, and we have one more got stuck way over here. So there you have it. These are the 4 cards for the Delicate Pine bundle to go. I'm over an hour, but not as bad as last time. I'm going to go to full camera here. Oh, if I can get my camera to come up. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining today. Um, like I said, when you spend $50 in my online store, you will receive these card kits for your card class to go as a thank you from me for your purchase. When you spend $75 in my online store, you will receive the card class to go and a pack of embellishments. Plus, if you order today and tomorrow, you will receive free shipping from Stampin' Up. So that's a bonus. So I just want to say again, thank you everybody for watching along and commenting. And will see you next time. I'll be live next Thursday, same time, same place. Talk to you later. Bye.